All right, hello PELWELL family, and welcome to PELWELL Yoga. So today we do have a power flow. So if range of motion is a little limited, you might want to have a set of bricks and a strap handy. You can use throughout the flow, but if you don't have that, no worries, we will work without. So let's take a moment to connect with our breathing and to start to bring our attention to the mat. So go ahead and meet me in whatever sit is comfortable. You can sit on a block, you can sit crisscross, you can sit in lotus, easy seat, legs extended out in front of you, whatever feels really good. Go ahead and let the chin slightly tuck towards the chest. Relax your shoulders down away from the ears. And take a nice deep cleansing breath just to bring us in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let everything out. With that exhale, let the body start to settle into the mat. And start to transition your breath into Ujjayi. So in and out through the nose. And this will be the breath we stay with throughout the entire flow. So as you inhale, let the belly fill up with air, take up space. And as you exhale through the nose, let it come from the back of the throat, almost as if you're fogging up a mirror. And if the exhale is audible, it might make that ocean wave-like sound. So the exhale is actually to warm the body. Take a couple more deep breaths here to set the intention for your practice. And stay with your breath. Let the left ear fall to the left shoulder, stretching out through the right side of the neck. And if it's available to you, extend the right arm out towards the floor next to the hip. And then walk it out just a little further so you feel a nice deep stretch to the right side. Let the chin melt towards the chest. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. Release the right hand and then extend your left arm out long. And then slowly let the chin fall to the chest, left hand towards the lap, and then just circle through the neck. Nice, easy, slow. Stay with your breath, in and out through the nose. And when it feels like a really good place to switch directions, go ahead and do so. Slowly settle back in. Wherever you're at, roll onto the knees, uncross the legs, come into tabletop. Making sure the wrists are beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Take a nice deep inhale, let the belly drop. Lift your tailbone towards the sky, take your gaze forward. And as you exhale, press the floor away, round the spine into cat. Pulling the belly button towards the spine. Inhale, lengthen, let the belly fall. Exhale, press the floor away, round the spine. And then keep moving between these two with your breath. If the low back feels really tight, you might want to stay in one versus the other. Feel free. Just notice what feels really good in your body today. Next time you start to move back through center, hold in a neutral spine. And then we're going to extend the right leg out. So when you extend the leg out, make sure the arch of the right foot is in the same plane as the left knee. Make sure your left toe is untucked so you're on the shoelace part of the foot, and then just gently shift the weight forward and back. Almost like you're sitting into child's pose on the left side, but feel that nice big stretch running through the hip on the right. Staying grounded through both hands. then if you've lost your breath, keep connecting with it. The next time you come back to the front hold, rotate the right foot off at a 45, bend that knee, and then circle through the hip joint. And when it feels like a good place to switch directions, go ahead and change. Last two, last one. Go ahead and realign the right foot back so it's facing forward. Inhale your left arm out to the left side wall. And we're going to thread the left arm all the way under the right, coming onto that shoulder and cheek. Feeling a big space through the body. So if it's not available to come all the way down onto the shoulder and cheek, this is when you might want to grab one of those bricks. And we're going to let the left shoulder find a brick instead of the floor. So whatever feels better for you, stay within your body's range of motion. Take another breath here. And then press that right hand, slowly release, coming back through center. We're going to sweep the right leg to the back of the room and take it all the way across the left. And then bending the knee, so you're nestling the knee right behind the left knee. And then we're going to widen the feet out towards the edges of the mat. And then gently shift the weight forward and back. So as we go forward and back, the left knee will pop up off the floor, but the right knee stays grounded. And we're just shifting that weight forward and back. Like again, we're sitting into child's pose and then coming back through all fours. Stay grounded with your breath. Last one here. Back through center. Bring the feet back closer together and then release the right leg back underneath the right hip. Once we're there, we're going to switch sides. So extend that left leg out. Again, let's make sure the arch of the left foot is in the same line as that right knee. Untuck the right toe so on the shoelace part of the foot, and then gently shift the weight forward and back. Still inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Letting the inhale bring the whole body full of air. And the exhale, let it go from a constricted throat. Come back through center hold. Rotate the left foot so it's off at a 45. Bend the knee and gently circle through the hips. Slowly coming into a spot to stop and just change directions. And then coming back through center. As we straighten the leg, rotate so the foot is facing back to the front. If you feel like you might need that brick for the shoulder, go ahead and get it handy. Pressing through the left hand, inhale, right arm towards the side wall. Exhale, we're going to thread the right hand all the way, coming onto that shoulder and cheek. Bringing the shoulder either to the floor or to a brick. Making sure we're still grounded through all four corners of the left foot and the leg is nice and straight. And then come back to your breath. Press through your left hand to slowly release the right leg, the right arm, sorry. We're going to sweep the left leg to the back, bring the knee behind the right, and then widen the feet out, and then sit the weight forward and back. And the next time you come forward, hold and release that left leg back. Coming back through tabletop, we're just gently going to rotate the wrists so the fingertips are towards the knees, so the insides of our elbows are facing forward. So if you already feel a lot of stretch to the wrists and forearms, maybe you just kind of want to hang out here and breathe. Notice if we're sagging through the low back and pull the abdominals into a neutral spine, and then circle through those wrists by moving the shoulders in a circular motion. Make sure we're staying grounded through the fronts of the wrists and the palms. And again, when it feels like a good place to stop and change directions, go ahead and switch. And then coming back through center, rotate so the fingertips are facing the sides of the mat. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists, we're just gently going to sway side to side. Keeping the arms nice and long. Making sure we're not tenting the fingers, like lifting the knuckles from the floor. Keep pressing the entire hand into the mat. Really strong through your core, so we're not feeling any of this in the low back. And then slowly move the hands back to neutral. From here, gently tuck the toes, start to push the hips back towards the heels, and then lift your sit bones high to the sky, straighten your legs, down dog. In our first down dog, gently pedal out the feet, opening up through the hamstrings, and calves. And then settle in, letting both heels melt. Keep driving the chest back towards the thighs. Nice long through the arms and the spine. Take a nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, float your right foot high to the sky. Bend the knee, open your hips towards the right side of the room. Keep your shoulders nice and square to the floor. Re-square your hips back towards the earth and then release the right foot. Inhale, left leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Keep the weight nice and even between both hands. Re-square the hips and release. Take your gaze forward and then let the feet follow, stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, so pull the crown of the head forward, nice long spine. Exhale, fold. In this first forward fold, just grab opposite elbows, let the forehead rest on the forearms. If it feels comfortable, gently sway side to side. And then moving back through center, slowly come through, release the hands. Bend the knees, roll it up like a rag doll, one vertebra at a time. And we'll start our flow. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step your feet back, high plank. On this first one, we'll let the knees melt first. So knees, chest, then chin. Slither forward to baby cobra. So very little weight in the hands. Feel this micro back bend as we lift the chest. And then exhale, move through tabletop to down dog. On the exhale, let your gaze come forward first, and then let the feet follow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach up. Exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step the feet back, high plank. This time, let's move through chaturanga. So coming halfway down till the elbows are bent at 90, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. On the exhale, let the gaze come forward first, and then step the feet into the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step the feet back, high plank. Chaturanga. And halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through to the hands. Inhale, up high lunge. Pivot that back foot open, open up warrior two. Keeping that front knee bent. Make sure the knee is right over the ankle and the knee is driving towards the pinky toes. So if you feel like that knee is kind of caving in towards the big toe, drive it out towards the pinky toe. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Flip your front palm so it faces the sky. Reverse your warrior. So left foot, left hand to the leg, right arm reaches up to the sky. Feel this big side body stretch running up the right side body. A nice deep breath. On the exhale, extended side angle. So right forearm finds the right thigh, left arm reaches overhead to the wall in front of us. And then press through that forearm to open the chest, stacking the shoulders one on top of the next. On the exhale, straighten that front leg, reverse the arms, exalted warrior. And then on the exhale, push the hips back, windmill or cartwheel the hands to the floor, triangle pose. Bringing the hands either to the floor or to a brick. Keeping both legs nice and straight, hips drawing back, shoulders stacked, chest opening. So if you feel like the arm is back here or the chest is closing to the floor, maybe grab a brick and bring the earth to you. So you can find that really good alignment. Take a nice deep breath here. On the exhale, release the left hand to the earth. Frame the right foot with the hands. Pivot the left foot so all 10 toes are facing forward. Bend that right knee. Now, if warrior 3 is a challenge, we're just going to leave the hands onto the floor, but reach the hands slightly in front of the right foot, tented fingers. Build strength through the right foot, through that leg. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, float your left leg, setting up for warrior 3. So if you want to leave the hands on the floor, feel free, or we'll start to lift the chest till it's parallel with the floor, reach the arms back by the hips. Nice long line of energy from the crown of the head to the left heel. And like a pendulum, we're going to sweep that left leg all the way forward. And then release it down towards the earth. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step back. Let's move through a vinyasa. So chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, upper body up, high lunge. Pivot that back foot open up warrior 2. So your front heel should line up with your back arch. Arms are reaching out from the shoulders. Flip that front palm, reverse warrior. Extended side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm reaches overhead. Keep that chest open towards the right side of the room. Keep the shoulders nice and stacked. On the exhale, straighten that front leg, exalted warrior. And as we transition into triangle, reaching the arms down, push your hips to the wall behind you. And then cartwheel the hands either to a brick or to the floor. Keeping the chest open, shoulders stacked. Slowly release the right hand back to the floor, framing the left foot. All 10 toes facing forward, bend that front knee. Walk the hands slightly forward, tented fingers. Power through that left foot, through the leg, and then on the exhale, float your right leg. Feel free to leave the hands onto the earth or start to float the chest to parallel and reach the hands down by the hips. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, press that left foot like a pendulum, reach the right leg forward, and then slowly release it. Nice job. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart, fold through center. Take your 2 front fingers, your pointer finger, your middle finger, your peace fingers, wrapped around the big toe, and then fold forward, letting the elbows spread out wide like elephant ears. Take another breath here, and then slowly release the hands. Hands to shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, and release the hands like a rag doll, 1 vertebra at a time, roll it up. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, leave them there. Exhale, sit the hips back, chair pose. So make sure when you look down, you can still see all 10 toes. Pull the abdominals in so we're not feeling this in the low back. And then on the exhale, keep the legs, release the hands down by the hips. And then start to shift the weight onto the balls while you lift the heels. And if this is challenging enough, feel free to stay here. But if it's available to you, start to straighten the legs and fold to parallel. Take a breath here. We're going to reach the arms up, stay onto the balls of the feet, start to bend the legs back, sit back, chair pose. Take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, drop the heels, lift the hips, reach the arms, swan dive down. Nice job. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. So we're going to slowly rotate. So we're facing the long edge of the mat. I'm going to rotate the other way, so I'm not facing to the back, but stay where you are in this wide forward fold. So we're going to grab right hand to left ankle. So if the feet are really wide and it's hard to reach at first, go ahead and ball heel step the feet closer together. Right hand grabs left ankle. Left hand grabs right ankle. So you're making an X with the arms. And then once you have a grip, ball heel step the feet a little wider. Take another breath here. And then slowly release the hands. Widen your feet back out if you brought them in towards each other. Bend the right knee, sit all the way into that right leg as we straighten the left. Take one more breath. And as we exhale, we'll walk it towards the front left foot, sitting all the way into that leg as we straighten the right. And then bring the weight back through center, straightening out both legs, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Pivot all 10 toes to face the front of the mat. And step that back right foot back to the top of the mat to meet the left. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step the feet back, high plank. Let's take a Vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Take 2 more breaths here. Last breath. On the exhale, let your gaze come forward. Then step the feet to the outsides of the hands. So right foot to the pinky, left foot to the pinky. And then drop your hips so they're in line with the knees. And bring your hands to heart. Lift your chest. Getting nice and deep into goddess pose. Pull the abdominals in so we're really strong through the core. Find your breath. Slowly release the hands to the earth, lift the hips, straighten the legs, and ball heel step the feet back under the hips. Bend your knees like a ragdoll, roll it all the way up. Keep facing the front short edge of your mat. I'm just going to rotate to face you. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot. Bring your right foot to the inner left arch, and then rotate the hip open. So you feel this nice opening through the hips. We're setting up for tree pose, but I want you to keep the opening through the hips. So maybe you want to leave the feet on the floor like this, feel free, or bring it to the inside of the calf or the upper thigh, just avoid the knee. Bring your hands to heart, wherever you want to take the pose. Find your breath. If you're looking at me or the camera, I invite you to look about 2 feet in front of you on the floor. Start to focus on the left foot. If you feel the arch lifting, ground the arch into the floor. Pull the abdominals in. And then inhale, reach the arms overhead if that's available to you. And if it's available to you to go even further, we'll rest the right arm on the right thigh and find a side bend, reaching the left arm to the right side of the room. Take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, wherever you took the arms, bring them back through center. And then release that right leg. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, pull them back through center. Shift the weight into the right foot. Bring your left foot right next to the arch and then rotate the hip open. Keep this hip open as you set the left foot up into its side for tree pose. Again, just avoiding the knee wherever you take it. Ground through the right foot. And then take whatever arm variation feels good for you. And wherever you took the arms, slowly bring them back through the heart. Release that left leg. Still facing that top edge of your mat. We're gonna move through crow to headstand. So if you want to try it, but it makes you a little nervous, feel free to move to a wall so you have a little support to push into, or you can practice it freely depending on how comfortable you feel with these two postures. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive towards the earth. Okay, so we're gonna place the hands on the earth. So come up onto the balls of the feet to bend the knees, letting your hips melt. So let's set up the arms first. So the wrists are gonna be beneath the shoulders and your fingertips are spread really, really wide to give you a big base and a big foundation. Our knees are actually gonna nestle up on the triceps and your gaze is really important in crow. We wanna keep the gaze going forward. If you look straight down between the thumbs, it's really typical to face plant. So if you wanna really find your lift, keep the gaze going forward. So that's where the body weight's gonna shift. So practice just shifting forward onto the balls of the feet, or onto the tippy toes, I mean, and just see how it feels to have a lot of that body weight in the hands. Make sure we're breathing. Nice deep breaths. And then releasing when you need to. Keep the gaze forward. And if it's available to you, start to maybe lift the feet off the mat. Make sure you're breathing when you're holding crow. It can be very common to hold the breath, which will make it a lot harder. So stay with your breath and keep playing around with that. And once we're strong enough to support ourselves in crow, we can take it into the headstand. And I say that because I want to make sure we're not putting all the weight in the head. I want you to feel how much weight is on the arms. Even when we're in the headstand, our arms are very much involved. So if you don't feel comfortable with crow, feel free to keep practicing that. But if you feel really comfortable, let's move on to the head. So the head is going to make the tip of a triangle with the arms. And we're going to lift the legs up just like we did in crow. So maybe this is where we want to keep it. Or maybe we can start to lift the legs up over the hips. But I want you to focus on the arms. Triceps are still engaged. And when you can, we straighten the legs. And then we move back through the same way. So we bend the knees. Let them find the triceps. Release the feet to the floor. And then come back up. So we can try it near the wall, or we just stay practicing with crow. And know that crow has various stages. We can't get the feet off the floor, that's okay. We practice one foot, we feel the weight, play around with it. We play around with the other foot. So you can just feel the strength involved in the asana, the posture. I see some feet flipping, so I feel like some are trying the headstand. If you're not comfortable in free space, move to a wall. It's always nice to practice against a wall. It's gonna be there to catch you if you start to fall. I'll give you a couple more moments to play around with it, get a feel for it. It's a lot of upper body strength. A lot of upper body strength. So make sure the gaze is forward. Look forward, look forward. We look down, we face plant. Beautiful, beautiful. And then focus on the breath. Keep looking forward and breathe. Try lifting one foot, hold for a second, and then lift the other foot. Find your balance. Nice job. And then slowly release. Take those legs back and sit back into child's pose. Nice job. This time, let the forehead mount either to a brick or to the floor, and let the hands come down by the feet. Release all that upper body engagement. And then slowly move back through tabletop. Keep the hips over the knees, but come onto the forearms. Now, notice if the hands start to come together to keep them apart. So we kind of want the wrist in line with the elbows. So plant the hands firmly into the mat so they don't slowly start to slide towards one another. Tucking the toes under, start to lift your sits bones high to the sky and walk the feet maybe one more foot breath back in towards the body. So we're in the top of a dolphin. Lots of shoulders here. So make sure the crown of the head is melting towards the floor, but not resting on the floor. Your gaze is back towards the ankles or the knees. Pressing through those forearms. Ground through the left foot, float your right foot. Slowly release. Press through the right foot, float the left. Slowly release. Let the knees melt. Sit back, child's pose. Nice job. We're going to transition into puppy, so a big chest opener. So lifting the hips back up over the knees, keep them up. We're going to walk the hands forward about 12 more inches, and then lower the head past the arms, forehead to the earth or to a brick. Arms are lifted off the floor, reaching really long. Hips are stacked over knees. Feel that stretch to the upper back, to the lats, through the chest, through the shoulders. Keep everything as it is, but take your gaze forward. And then we're just going to slither the upper body into Sphinx pose. So the elbows are directly beneath the shoulders. We're still grounded through the hands. Actively pull the hips and the elbows towards one another. So we're opening up the collarbone towards the front short edge of our mat. Feel that expansion through the chest. Feel that supported micro back bend through the low back. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Nice job. Take a couple more breaths here. And then as we come out of this, tuck the chin to the chest. And then slowly slide the knees in, coming through tabletop. Tuck the toes under, down dog. Inhale, right foot high to the sky. We're coming through single pigeon. So as we bring the leg forward, we're going to plant the right knee behind the right wrist. We're going to plant the right ankle behind the left wrist. Letting that left knee melt to the floor, untucking the toe, stretching out through the outside of your right hip. Feel free to stay up onto the hands, or maybe we come onto the forearms. Keeping that right foot nice and flexed. And if it's available to you, maybe we walk the hands out all the way and come onto the belly. Lift the upper body first, walking the hands back in. Tuck your left toe to lift the knee. Step your right foot back, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, sweep it through. Left knee lands behind the wrist, the ankle behind the right wrist. Keep your hips nice and square. Release your right leg. And then take it to your fullest expression on this side. Slowly walk it back up. This time we're just going to sit onto that left hip and sweep the right leg around. Grab your strap and one block and set them to the back of the mat so when we lay down, they're easy to grab. So once you have your equipment to the back of the mat, slowly roll all the way down onto your back. Go ahead and grab your yoga brick. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the earth, knees are up towards the sky. And take your brick on its lowest setting. We're going to bridge the hips up and slide this brick underneath our sits bones and our tailbone. So make sure it's right underneath your hips, not your low back. And then extend your legs out long. We're going to do a little bit of core work. It's quite intense. So depending on the strength of your abdominals, you may want to eventually lose the brick or maybe even place something on top of the feet, maybe slide them under a couch if you're at home, or putting some dumbbells on top so you've got something to push into. Hands are down by your side. Take a nice deep inhale, press through the heels first, and then as we exhale, I gotta bend my knees a little bit. As we exhale, we're actually going to sit up and then slowly release back down. Exhale, sitting up. Inhale, lowering back down. Adjust my brick, sorry. Exhale, sit up. Inhale, lower down. So can we find a point where the shoulders are actually coming off the floor and then lowering back down? So if your shoulders are staying grounded on the floor, we find that they're not lifting up. This might be we want to try to slide the feet under something so we have something to push into to help us lift. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Really strong through the upper abs. Exhale, lift. Upper body off the floor. Slowly lower. 2 more here. They're really, really tough. I know. Slowly release. Inhale. Exhale. So on this next one, we're going to lift and hold for 5 full breaths. So take your inhale. Exhale, up, hold, 5. Breathe, 4. Breathe, 3. Relax your shoulders. Breathe, 2. Breathe, 1. Release down. Nice job. Bring the knees into the chest and then extend the legs up to the sky, inversion. Good job. That was the last little tough portion. And then slowly release the feet back towards the earth. Press to the bottom of the feet to lift the hips and slide the brick out from underneath of you, unraveling 1 vertebra at a time back to the floor. Go ahead and grab your strap. We're going to place the bottom of both feet right into the center. And then we're going to grab onto the edges of that strap. From here, we're going to slide the feet out really, really wide, like into a V. And so we're holding on to the outside edges of the strap. Press through the heels. So you already feel a little bit of a hamstring. And then we're going to pull the legs up over the hips closer to the belly button. And then just gently sway side to side. So if you're at home without a strap, no worries. Just hug the knees into the chest and gently rock side to side. So you still get that lower back massage. rocking back through center. Keep a firm grip through the hands and just glide the feet back together. And then we're going to hold on to that strap as we lower the legs all the way to the floor with control. So hold on to it so the legs don't flop. And once the legs make contact, release the strap. Let your legs fall off naturally from their hips. Reach the arms overhead. And like a good morning stretch, reach the arms and legs in opposite directions. Exhale, relax. Inhale again, reach and lengthen. Exhale, relax. Last one. And then exhale, let the hands come down by your sides. Palms up towards the sky, or maybe the hands rest on the body if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding today. You can let the eyes close. Start to let go of your controlled breath. And let your breath return to its more natural state. Scan through the body. Notice if you're holding tension through the brows to soften. If you're holding tension in the jaw, to let the tongue hang heavy. If the shoulders are still holding on to tension, to let that go. Let your right leg fall off. Let your left leg fall off. And with the exhale, let every part of you sink into the mat, feeling heavy and heavy. If you have more time throughout your day to stay in Shavasana, I invite you to just stay here as long as you need or want. But if it's time to move on with your day, start to add in small movement, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, or circling wrists and ankles. And then whenever you are ready, gently roll over to your right side. And then use your top left arm to gently press yourself up. Come back through a seated position. Once there, gently roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and then release. We'll finish with 2 cleansing breaths, so the same way we started. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out. And then I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Thank you, PELWELL family, for joining me on the mat today. From my heart to yours, be well.